Viewer discretion is advised.
What's up, guys? YoAdrian here. Welcome back to another GTA 5 single player series. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of a different single player series video. We're actually going to be taking a road trip in this retired Ford Taurus, or retired Police Ford Taurus. And we're actually going to be doing a video of my run-ins with the police. Now, disclaimer, none of these have actually ended in citations or arrests or anything like that. These are just kind of like stories that I've actually had to deal with police officers and stuff like that. So, a lot of these are kind of like family personal, so I'm not going to basically say the two parties that are named in it. I'm not going to go in like grave detail with those, but I'm basically just going to kind of give like a rundown of like situations that I've had to deal with law enforcement that as soon as I can, or as far as back as I can actually remember. So I figured what better way to do this than with a retired police interceptor vehicle, the Ford Taurus. And I gotta say, it's a very nice looking Ford Taurus. I don't actually remember who made this vehicle, but I'll have it in editing as to who made it. And I'll have a link down in the description below for it as well. I think it's High Flyer, or High T Flyer 1, I believe is the name. I know it's something High Flyer, but I can't remember the whole name. But it's a very nice looking model. You got different components and stuff that you can do with and whatnot. We'll actually take a look at those right now. You can get rid of your ram bar. Component 2 will be getting rid of your dual spotlights. Component 3 is getting rid of those antenna caps. 4 is getting the one on the trunk. 5 gets rid of the antenna. 6 and 7 are actually a bike rack. So you actually put a bike on this vehicle as well, which is kind of cool. I don't want to put the bike on it just because it looks kind of weird, because I'm not going biking anywhere. But yeah, that is that. I also do have the pull me over mod in, so if we get pulled over, hopefully that'll be another experience and whatnot. But yeah, let's go ahead and hop on the road, and let's just go ahead and take a little GTA 5 road trip around Blaine County. I haven't actually done this before. I've actually seen a video on YouTube of some dude doing it in an RV, and I figured why not go ahead and do it, except his was non-commentary. I'm going to end up doing mine as commentary, and we're actually going to follow like all traffic laws and all that fun stuff. So if we get pulled over, we get pulled over. Then I can't really help you out with that one. But the first story I actually have is back when I was a kid. There was a welfare check about one of the occupants in my household smoking cigarettes. This was back when I was maybe about 5 or 6. One of my family members actually called on my other family member saying that he was smoking cigarettes in the bathroom. And cops came in, did a welfare check, and I know myself, I was actually hiding behind, because there was like a little gap in between my couch and my, like, well, not recliner, but it's like a single seat couch, like a chair type deal. There was a gap in between there, and I kind of hid back there. I always hid there. My mom knew where I was and stuff like that, so I had to go out and talk to the police and everything and all that fun stuff. And it was I think that was like my first actual experience with the police. And yeah, so I'm saying none of these stories I'm here bashing any family members or anything like that. I'm not going to put out names or who they are or anything. It's just kind of like my run-ins with the police. I feel like are kind of like interesting stories, because if you guys are my friends, you guys know you guys know the stories and stuff like that. But I feel like for people that don't know my past life and my run-ins with the police and everything, I feel like this would be like a little cool video to do and whatnot. We're actually gonna pass this dude. I know we're in a no passing zone, but we're gonna pass this dude. He's being too fucking slow. I'm gonna going straight through over here. Next one I have was, I'm not gonna do these in like any specific order either, so they're not gonna be like done in any specific order. But okay, boy. Yeah, they're not gonna be done in any specific order. But another one was back when I was actually out at a friend's house at high school. Him and I were kind of just out, walking around at, like, I think it was like 1 or 2 in the morning. And we ended up getting stopped by a deputy sheriff, who ended up taking us back to my friend's house, because we were, out past curfew, and it was just jaywalking, not jaywalking, but we were just out past curfew, just kind of walking around in town and stuff like that. So we were just kind of bored and we were getting tired of playing Call of Duty and getting pissed off at it. I believe that's what happened. But yeah, we ended up just getting tired of playing Call of Duty, and we ended up just going for a walk, just, you know, not doing anything, like no trouble or really, just kind of going for a walk and just kind of talking and stuff. And we ended up getting caught by a deputy sheriff, and then he ended up taking us back to my dad's house, or not my dad's house, but his dad's house. And yeah, no, we didn't really get in trouble. He just kind of took us back home because, I mean, 2 o'clock in the morning, high schoolers shouldn't really be out at all. So we are following traffic laws here, but we don't have any turn signals, only because that mod is a piece of crap and it doesn't actually work for me. So 35 miles an hour. Let's see if we can actually maybe get caught by the cops. Little coyote there, don't want to run him over. Don't run him over. There we go. Don't want to do that. Another time was back in that same town. Still past curfew a little bit, but we used to go. Me and my buddies used to go fishing down at this little fishing hole. And, of course, to get there, you have to cut through someone's property. So we ended up cutting through there, like, it's like a front yard back. It was like more of a front yard to get to the spot where we go fishing at. And I guess the Mansfield cop, or not I guess the cop there, he was a really cool guy. Sadly, he's retired now, but he was a really cool cop. He did his job, but he didn't really, you know, care. He cared, but he cared to a certain extent. But he was a cool guy. He actually followed us down there. And, because he watched us, I guess, cut through the yard. He followed us down there and everything, and we ended up getting, not in trouble, he just kind of told us to go home and to give us a ride home. But yeah, we were trying to go fishing at like 2 in the morning and stuff like that, because we were just bored, because that's what we do, is we went fishing. We just kind of, like, you know, rode in trucks, took midnight drives, like what we're kind of doing here, and I kind of enjoy doing like midnight drives. Which reminds me, I forgot to end up doing this, is to do the real time. But yeah, I didn't want to put snow in this, only because I didn't want to be driving on snow the entire time. But yeah, let's go ahead and kill that rabbit, and let's just go ahead and turn around up here, only because there's no road here. But yeah, that's what kind of stuff we like to do, just go fishing and everything else and stuff like that. It was something that we just really enjoyed doing and everything. Hopefully we get back on this main road here soon. I don't want to be traveling down back roads the entire time. I mean, there's nothing wrong with going down back roads. I take the back roads all the time in real life, so there's nothing wrong with going down back roads. But I want to test this pull me over mod and see if we can actually get pulled over in this game and see exactly what happens. Because I've seen it happen in videos, but I've never actually experienced it, like, firsthand. So I'm very excited to actually get pulled over in this game. And I'm not excited to get pulled over in real life. But in this game, I'm very excited to actually get pulled over. Another time was back in the same house. My friend actually ended up losing his cell phone at my house. And we looked everywhere for it. We looked in my room where he slept and everything, because he slept out in the couch in the living room. We could not find it. So it was about a week. They reported it to the police. And supposedly when the cop came over to the house, he ended up like looking inside the couch. So we ended up turning the couch over, and it actually fell inside the couch cushion, which we don't know how it did. But yeah, it ended up falling inside the couch cushion. So he ended up having to come out there. He's the one who actually found it the first time. So he ended up coming out over there. We'll actually just go straight, so we don't go back on the 13. We'll just go straight in the grapeseed here. But he's the one who actually found it. We didn't get in any trouble or anything. It was just kind of like a miscommunication type deal, because we didn't realize it was in there. But he had to come over there, check, get our side of the story and everything. So yeah, it was something different. I think that was like my first time ever like being in trouble. I wasn't really in trouble, but he was kind of, you know what I mean. He was kind of like assertive and like dominant when we first came up, and then of course after we found the phone, he was all chill and everything. So yeah, it was fun. Another thing was, back when I was a kid, I was a victim of being in a vehicle with a person with 2 DUIs, 2 different times. So of course there we are on Interstate 57. With a person that's drinking in the vehicle. I'm not gonna say who, just because keep it confidential and stuff like that. But that was one of the reasons why I ended up wanting to become a police officer, is because of these 2 DUIs and just, you know, trying to get bad guys and stuff off the street and everything. But yeah, that's one of the reasons why I ended up wanting to be a police officer, is because of that reason. And stuff like that, because we were down at the police station, we were having a fun time. It was 2 different times. The first time we actually had like a pizza party and everything, and I guess there was a magician. That's the one thing I remember, was there was a magician cop who ended up having a I ended up giving him a quarter. He turned it into a $20 bill, and then he turned it into a $100 bill. But he sadly wouldn't let me keep the $100 bill, unfortunately, which kind of sucked. But I felt like that'd be pretty cool if we did end up letting me keep the $20 bill. But yeah, unfortunately, I could not keep it. Could not keep it. We're gonna pass this dude here. But yeah, also back in the same spot, we had cops come over to our apartment a lot. My few people I was living with at the time, not living with, but like visiting and stuff like that, fought a lot. So cops were called to the house a lot and stuff like that. So they were just like kind of like welfare checks, not more of like, it's like a, I don't know if you want to call it a disturbance, but it was more like a welfare check more than anything. So I dealt with cops a lot back as a kid. Back where I used to end up living at, we ended up having, since it was like federal, like government housing, the police can just show up at your door at any time. But we had a lot of people there that like to smoke marijuana and do drugs and stuff like that. So they'd send the dogs there a bunch of times. It'd probably be like, I don't know, once a month or something like that. They'd send the drug dogs down there. And we'll actually take a left up here. But yeah, once a month they'd send the drug dogs down and up and down and stuff like that. And of course it was like federal housing. That's where Kayla was living at the time, so I just kind of moved in with her. But yeah, so we had a lot of cops come into the apartment for like drug related stuff and like disturbances and stuff. So it was a very shady like apartment complex for sure. It was very, very, very shady apartment complex. Honestly, I hated living there. I did not care to live there whatsoever. I actually really hated living at that apartment complex. Let's go and stop right here. Let this RV go, and then we'll end up going. Unless that guy goes. Yeah, that guy's probably going to go. There we go. So we'll just go right after him. Perfecto. Perfecto. Back when I was actually living at that one apartment complex, where I used to live at my dad's house, there was actually a barricade situation that I actually kind of rolled up on accident. We're not going to go on the interstate. Dude, the fuck, dude? Where's a cop when you need one? I always say that in real life a lot. It's like, where's a cop when you need one? But there was a barricade situation down. It was down Main Street. Better fucking not, dude. But it was down Main Street. Apparently this one dude was walking around with like a rifle. And Illinois is not an open carry state. So you can't just like publicly open carry a rifle at all. But yeah, so he was like walking down the road with a rifle. Supposedly I heard he was throwing like trash into the street from his garage or something like that. I don't know if it was actually his house or if he was just at some random house throwing stuff from their garage into the street. But I heard that the cops got called, and I guess once the cops got here, he ended up holding his wife or some random girl that was living in the house at gunpoint, like holding her hostage basically. So it was like an hours long standoff in this little town, which you never probably would even hear of if you lived in a small town. You'd never think of like a hostage situation going down. But a few months, there was actually, I think it was a few years ago, there was actually a bank robbery in one of the small towns south of me, which something you'd never even think would be possible there either. It was like a giant bank robbery type deal. So it was like all the surrounding areas, law enforcement came to like to the scene and everything, and just kind of investigate and all that fun stuff. So it's this kind of stuff that you'd never even think of. A few years ago, we actually had a bar fight at the bar down here. There was like 5 or 6 cops when I was coming home one day. There was like people in handcuffs and everything, so it was a pretty big bar fight. I seen like people were like bloody and beat up and everything. So I kind of just pulled up on that scene because I saw the explorers, and I'm like, okay, so cops are at the bar. Maybe they're, you know, grabbing lunch or something. I'm like, why the hell would cops grab lunch at the bar? And then next thing you know, there was like 4, there was 2 of them. So I thought, okay, yeah, like they were grabbing lunch. And then next thing you know, I turned on the road the bar was on. There was like 4 more squad cars. And I was like, holy crap. We'll actually go ahead and turn around up here. Oh, don't want to turn in front of this guy. But only because I don't want to, you know, go on the interstate and stuff like that. But yeah, that was kind of weird. And then, of course, I come home, and I just randomly want to flip the dude off, I guess. But yeah, I come home that day, where I was like, because I live a block away from the bar, and they were there for a couple hours. I thought they were like going to be stalking me, because, you know, I pulled up in a Crown Vic, and I just like, you know, pulled into that random house. I thought they were going to be looking at me, but no, they never did. So that was a good sign. I'm glad I didn't get in trouble for that one. But I just thought it was kind of odd. Honestly. Honestly, kind of odd. But yeah, if you guys are enjoying the video, please do make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well if you're brand new and you are enjoying this content that I put out. Make sure you guys check out the other videos as well. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Add me on Snapchat. Join the Discord server. All that fun stuff. Even add me on Flickr. If you want to donate, you don't have to. Donate link is in the description below as well if you guys ever want to. I'm not asking for donations, but if you guys do ever want to support your boy over here, link is down in the description below. If you guys also do want to follow me on Patreon, join the Patreon, do that as well. Link is all down in the description below. There's one place where I was living at back in high school. We're going back to that one place now. We ended up having a cigarette bust. So this one, he wasn't really a manager. He was kind of like just a clerk and stuff like that. But he was actually selling like cigarettes to minors. So we'll actually just make a left here and just go down this back end road here. Got some deer. Oh no, the deer are running. But yeah, he was actually selling cigarettes to minors. Now, I wasn't one of the kids that he actually sold to because I didn't really smoke. I didn't smoke cigarettes at the time. I started smoking back when I was 18. But yeah, he was selling cigarettes to minors, and I happened to be at the gas station that one day where supposedly they sent a kid in. It was a state police. It was a sting operation. They sent the kid in to actually buy cigarettes, and next thing you know, he came out with a pack of cigarettes, so he ended up getting the pack of cigarettes sold to him. No ID was checked as far as I remember. And next thing you know, I see these state police officers running in and arresting the guy, and I'm like, well, fuck, how am I supposed to pay for my Mountain Dew now? So, yeah, it was a scary situation. Like, I was like, holy fuck. Well, there's a train coming. Let's go ahead and look at this train. I don't have overhauled trains in, unfortunately, only because the mod kept crashing my game with LSPDFR, so we just have the default train mod in, unfortunately. But I'm going to try to do another video series with overhauled trains here soon. Or have another folder of it with some things, so yeah. But there goes that train. Let's go ahead and hop back on a patrol. Or not patrol. I'm in a cop car. I keep thinking we're on patrol. We're not on a patrol. Another thing was back when I was working out at another store with Dollar General, working at that other store, we ended up having a scam going around, or a scam that happened inside the store where the cashier was actually kind of an idiot, honestly. And let the customers walk him through exactly what to do on the register, which is a big no-no. You learn that when you first start training as a cashier. So that's a big no-no, but he ended up doing that. Let's try to tailgate this guy. I want to see if we can actually get pulled over. Maybe not. Well, let's try to pass him. See if we can pass him. Nothing? Nothing? Really, dude? Okay, I guess he won't. I guess maybe they're busy and they won't pull me over. Interesting. Interesting. But yeah, so, that happened. That scam happened, so I ended up having to call the police and then filing a report and all that. And stuff like that. It was actually a cop from Hoopston, where I used to live at, which is awesome. I knew the guy, so that was a good sign. I knew the guy, so that was good. But that ended up happening. That was another time I actually had a run-in with the law. Let's just try to bash into this cop car. Like, nothing? You're not going to pull me over? I wonder if it's because I'm an off-duty cop. I wonder if that's why. It's because I'm an off-duty cop. Maybe that's why they won't pull me over. I don't know. That's weird. That is definitely weird. Yeah, no, he ain't pulling me over. Interesting. I was hoping to have another pullover story in this episode, but I guess not. Alright, well. I mean, another one we actually had was, we were coming home one night, Kayla and I, and there was this, like, person in front of us that was, like, I don't know, probably late for work or something. She was a nurse. Now, she was a nurse at the hospital, which was weird to me because we were following her to her job. We were actually going home. We weren't following her because it was the same direction. But there was like a line of cars in front of us, maybe like 7 or 8 cars. It was not rush hour, but it was like rush hour for Central Illinois, basically. And I don't know what the hell she was doing, but she kept going like this, just pretend there's a long line of cars. She kept going like this, like she was trying to like look on the shoulder, trying to like pass on the shoulder. Then she'd go out over here and like kind of look over here, try to pass. Then she'd go back on the shoulder like this, and then she'd come over here again. And then she was riding the shoulder for at least like a good like 30 seconds, just riding the shoulder, trying to pass people on the shoulder. So we ended up seeing that. We ended up calling 911 in the car because, of course, it was unsafe driving, like driving like this, trying to pass on the shoulder, because she was like, looked like she was literally about to pass. And then she kept going like this, and then there were cars coming opposite direction, so she couldn't pass, obviously. So we ended up calling the police, and then she ended up turning into the Casey's parking lot, where a police officer was actually buying a drink. Not like a like alcoholic drink, but like a energy drink, I think he was buying. Him and like an Explorer. So I ended up like saying, I called the dispatch center on that person over there in that vehicle. She was kind of swerving. I showed him the video we took, and he saw her swerving and everything, riding the shoulder and all that fun stuff. And then of course when she got into Hoopston, she ended up passing the stop sign, not stopping, not using a blinker, so he saw that as well. And then he said that he'd watch her. So she ended up leaving the gas station. She bought whatever she needed. It turns out she was actually a nurse. That's when we found out, because she was wearing scrubs like a nurse, and the hospital was like maybe like less than a mile down the road. So she left, and then the cops left after her, and then yeah, so it was weird. It was definitely a scary situation, because we were like right behind her. We didn't know what the hell she was doing, so we were just trying to like keep our distance and make sure that, you know, she didn't like run into us or anything. But that's pretty much all the stories I had where I've had to like have run-ins with the law for the most part. There are two other stories that I had. One was I was coming home from work one night, and it was same thing in Hoopston. It was in the IGA parking lot, and there was like a felony stop, because there was two police cruisers like side by side, not back to back, but actually side by side with their doors open, on looking at it like a not, it was like a sedan type deal. But they were looking at it side to side, and I just kind of witnessed it. It was kind of cool looking. I wanted to go take video of it, but it was too late in the night, and I had to go be up early for work the next morning, because it was probably like around 11 almost. So, but yeah, and then another one was, there was a motor vehicle accident with a stolen vehicle in Hoopston. So I don't know where the vehicle was taken out of. I think it was taken out of the town north of us, but it was ended up, they got in a pursuit, and then I guess the guy ended up crashing the car. And then I found out another thing was, this guy ended up killing someone in Hoopston, and led police on a chase all the way from Illinois to Colorado, just kept switching cars. And then I guess it ended up in a shootout with Colorado State Police, but supposedly he was shot, but the police never fired a round. And it wasn't a self-inflicted gunshot wound either, so I don't really know the whole backstory to that. But I was just told that story a few weeks ago, or a few days, yeah, actually, yeah, a few weeks ago. So yeah, I just thought it was kind of weird. But yeah, guys, if you guys did enjoy the video, and you guys did enjoy the stories, do make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well. Greatly appreciate if you guys would. And yeah, make sure you guys follow me on all those social medias, Discord, all that fun stuff. And I will catch you guys here on the next video. Peace out, everyone.